Hi, this is Thursday morning. Just a quick update on Hurricane Matthew. Here's the sun coming up in the eye on visible satellite imagery just between North Andros Island and New Providence here, passing right between these two. And you can see it's still a little bit cloud-filled, a little bit murky in here, but this has actually deepened a lot overnight with the pressure now down under 940 millibars according to Recon. It was above 960 as the sun went down yesterday, so this is over a 20 millibar pressure fall in the course of about 12 hours, which is substantial. Now, the winds have not increased quite as quickly as this pressure drop might indicate. They're only up to about 125 miles per hour sustained as of the 8 a.m. National Hurricane Center update, but this is obviously a very powerful hurricane regardless, and the winds could still increase more if this continues to deepen off toward the northwest, and this is expected to get very close to the Florida coastline starting by tonight. For the moment, the radar out of Wonderground here shows the eye wall, the eastern side of Matthew, right over the western part of New Providence Island as of this recording. The eye itself passing just to the west of the island, but these are the worst winds in all of Matthew in this little bit of red and yellow that you see here on the west side of New Providence. Nassau's over on the northeast side of the island. Their latest hourly report had winds over 85 miles per hour in gusts as the last I checked, and they could get higher than that as the system is bringing the worst conditions possible as the core of the hurricane moves near New Providence and North Andros Island. This is going to continue now right up toward the Florida coastline by tonight and then late and early in the morning on Friday, and the bands that you see here could bring tropical storm force winds to the coast as early as this afternoon. You can see that there is plenty of stuff out ahead of the core of the hurricane. The little bit of good news at the moment is that Matthew remains rather small in terms of the hurricane force wind field. It's really only this core right in here that has the severely damaging winds. In addition, on satellite right now, the eye wall is a little bit less than perfect looking. We do have a somewhat eroded northwest quadrant with less meat on the bones, if you will, in the northwestern part of the storm at this immediate moment. It's possible that there is some disruption due to Andros Island as the system is very close, but Andros doesn't have very much terrain on it, and so it's not going to weaken it the way Cuba did yesterday morning. But this is moving into an area of more open water, so even if Andros Island is affecting the eye, it still has plenty of warm water ahead of it for the next 12 hours potentially before it nears Florida, and so some additional strengthening is possible, and this could be back up to a Category 4 hurricane with winds of 145 miles per hour. That's what is expected by the National Hurricane Center by this evening. And even if it doesn't strengthen beyond its current point, this is already the strongest hurricane potentially that will have moved within a few miles of the central Florida coastline in the historical record. This is the current forecast, again, showing the track getting very close, and whether or not this makes a technical landfall may not matter, as the core could get close enough to the coast here to affect a wide swath of Florida, and little deviations in the track could determine who gets the eye wall and which counties could get the worst of Matthew. But the bottom line, it's going to be close, and we'll keep an eye on the radar as this gets closer to the coast and hope that it slips a little bit east, but at the moment expected to be very close to the Space Coast after passing just north of West Palm Beach late tonight and in the wee hours of Friday morning. And then as we go through the day Friday, it's still coming up the coast, and by Friday night it's still perhaps nearing Jacksonville Beach by that time, and then by the early morning hours on Saturday we find it off of Georgia. So we have hurricane warnings all the way up to Brunswick, along the entire coast of Florida, inland hurricane warnings along the corridor of Lake Okeechobee and Orlando, as the core is expected to be near the coast and hurricane force winds could extend inland by a few dozen miles in gusts at the very least. And then the hurricane then passes up close to Georgia and South Carolina, where we have hurricane watches up past Charleston, and this is now forecast to be close enough that this could cause extensive problems. In addition, the flooding here could be substantial. If the hurricane is close enough to the coast, flooding can be a bigger problem than wind for portions of Georgia and South Carolina. Some weakening of the hurricane will likely occur in here due to a combination of wind shear, land interaction, and cooler water. The Gulf Stream only comes up to about Port St. Lucie, and then it starts curving off. So the water north of about West Palm Beach here gets cooler and less deep for the hurricane, but up until this point we could see a strengthening storm, and then even if it weakens a little bit up here, this is still the strongest hurricane by far that this region will have seen in many, many years. So please be safe. Please follow your evacuation orders if you've been asked to leave, as that will keep you safe from a hurricane like this, as storm surge is expected to be up to 9 feet above ground level in some spots along this portion of the coastline. This is no joke. This is a major hurricane coming very close to landfall and could cross the coast at some point tonight in Florida. So please stay safe. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.